Hello, my name is Joshua Drumm, and here are my individual contributions for Gold Team. This is me, and for this project I have been in charge of character development as well as being the Scrum Master. One of the first major accomplishments that I did for this project was character movement. So the Archer Man is able to move in has four different movement options, and those four movement options are moving left, moving right, jumping, and double jumping. So the Archerman is able to do this because of a few things. How it all happens is it starts with the game panel base. So the game panel base inherits from key listener and mouse listener. And whenever a key is pressed, that key that was pressed is added to an array list in the game data. And after that, the game panel base calls notify key listeners. So what happens there is that every object in the game that implements key handler is notified. And our Archerman, which implements controllable, which extends key handler, because of this, the Archerman is able to be notified from the game panel. And after this, what happens is that the game panel notifies the Archerman, and the Archerman processes the key input. And during the update method, which is run every frame and it's inherited from game object, the Archerman updates its position. It will change its position left, right, or change its velocity up so that it can jump, or do something very similar for a double jump. The next accomplishment was respawning. So the respawning does kind of a pseudo observer pattern. So what happens exactly is that the game panel base has it subscribes to the Archerman using the subscribe method. And what happens with the Archerman is that whenever it dies, it notifies the game panel base, and what happens after that is that the game panel base will respawn, and whenever it does that, it removes all of the game objects from the game panel, and then it will load all of the objects back as it does normally when it's loading the panel. The next contribution was enemy development. In our game, there are three different types of enemies. There's the walker, there's the launcher, and the flyer. And each of them have different tracking behaviors. So the enemy on the left is the walker, and how it tracks the Archerman is that it follows him by foot and it only moves left to right. It cannot jump. The flyer does something kind of similar. It moves only left and right, but hovers over the the Archerman's head. And the launcher will follow the Archerman in the X and Y planes. So no matter where the Archerman is, the launcher will move directly toward it in a straight line. In a straight line path, that is. So since the flyer is too high to be able to attack the Archerman by collision, what it does is that whenever it decides to attack, it calls its attack method, which creates a launcher. And the launcher is actually how the flyer attacks the Archerman. The next contribution was the shooting buff. So normally, the Archerman only shoots one arrow, but when the Archerman picks up a buff, it is able to shoot 3 arrows at once. And the way this is implemented was using a strategy pattern. And this is used so that the normal behavior and the buffed behavior could be switched between very easily. So the game panel has a shooting strategy, and there are two different types of shooting strategies, the shoot default and the shoot buff. So whenever the game panel is notified that it's supposed to launch an arrow, what happens is that in the launch arrow method, it tells the shooting strategy to call shoot. and then from there, the shooting strategy takes care of the entire process of shooting and creating arrows. This simplifies the process and really allows for customization with the types of shooting. The next contribution was for platform collisions. So the Archerman can land on platforms, he can fall from platforms, and he can also special fall through the levitating platforms. So the special fall is a little different than a normal fall. The normal fall is just whenever there's no longer anything to support the Archerman, he just kind of falls because that's how things happen. But the special fall is that whenever you're on a levitating platform and you hit down, you'll fall through the platform. So you go from above to start falling. So how this all happens is it begins with a flat platform fallable collider. And this implements the interface collision listener, which allows for collision detection. So after collision is detected between a platform and something that implements fallable, then do collision is run. And this processes all the collisions for the platform and anything that is able to fall. Those two things being Archerman and the walker. So what happens after the collision is notified? Let's say that the collision happened between the Archerman and a normal platform. What happens is that the platform, the Archerman lands on a platform, and so the stop falling method is called to allow the Archerman to stop falling. And if collision happens between the Archerman and a pit platform, which is just an empty void, then the start falling method is called so that the Archerman can start falling. Additionally, the special fall happens slightly differently. What happens is that whenever the Archerman is pressing down while he's on a horizontal platform, which is the levitating platform, then what happens is that the platform collider calls a special method on the Archerman, which is special fall, and it passes the horizontal platform that it was colliding with before. What happens is, after that's passed, the platform is added to an array list in the Archerman that keeps track of which platforms it should or should not collide with. So in the array list is actually a platform helper. So what happens is when the special fall method is called, a platform helper is created, which just has a horizontal platform and a timer. It keeps track of the number of frames until the Archerman should be able to collide with that horizontal platform again. So to avoid the collision with the horizontal platforms that it should be falling through, the platform collider can call a check platform list on the Archerman, and if any of the horizontal platforms it's colliding with are on the list, then it'll just let the Archerman keep falling. That's all of my individual contributions for this project. Thank you for watching.